Hey ladies and gentlemen, before we start off the video here, I want to remind everybody the demo for SLA Overdrive is out on Steam. If you want to download it, just go to the store, search up Solo Leveling Arise, and you'll see Overdrive. There's a demo section on the bottom right of the screen, or in the middle of the screen on the bottom right. You'll notice a little download button. Click on that, and you'll be able to play this game right away. You guys can see Zaf right here is already playing. He's got a video out, and I've already done a few videos. Here's another video to go over all the big changes that are happening, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the video, guys. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive video. That's right, we're going to be talking a little bit about the demo and all the big differences you guys can see in the game. You guys are here witnessing the actual game live. It is a demo, and there's still a lot of questions being asked about what this is. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's a lot of different answers and speculations out there. I don't want to throw out, I gave you my opinion. I think this is going to be an overhaul to the game. The gacha system is completely different. I think everything's going to be different. But you guys can see here, if you look at the actual company, Dubu Red Dice Studio is the exact same company that makes Solo Leveling. Chugong H. Goon 2018 DC Media is exactly the same year and company. And Netmarble Corp, of course, is still the same company. So this is a demo version of the game. Now, one thing to note about this is that the option system is almost exactly identical to what we have now in SLA, sounds, languages, controls, etc. Everything pretty much feels and looks the same from a UI perspective, but that's where it kind of ends. So I'm going to go over this and go over all the changes that are in this game and my thoughts about it, okay? So I'm going to be real with you guys. I still think this is going to be an overhaul. I think it'll be like crazy for the devs to completely make a brand new game that feels and plays very similarly, but also very different. I'll also exercise and give you guys those differences as well, right? And you guys can see right away, you're coming down an elevator, the lobby feels different, so your login is actually a little bit different as well too whenever you're walking in. So the front looks a little the same, but again, has different menu options, okay? So I'm going to show you guys real quick. You'll see right now that this is going to look a little bit different and feel a little bit different. So first off, Soren actually gives you options for co-op. Yes, there is real co-op, guys, and there are real bosses to do co-op. So you can do a quick search by boss, etc. Like these are the bosses that are currently available: the Scorching Lava Guardian, the first gen Ant Leader, the Checkmate Kaisa, the Blue Spirit Golem, Fakna, the King of the Desert, Cerberus, the Gatekeeper of Hell, and Igris the Red. Now, if you didn't watch my actual live stream of the game, I've showed you guys real quick before what it looks like, right? So you guys can see here, there are some people already playing, doing this thing. So I can jump in here and do a quick search and find myself a guild that's available. So let's just jump into this co-op, and I'll show you guys how this co-op works, right? So we'll try out the co-op. So I know this is a brand new mode. Now I'm playing on Steam, right? If this is released anytime soon on anything else outside of Steam, let's say it's not in co-op, there's dummies here. Look at this. We got dummies here, guys. Can you believe that? We actually got training dummies, folks. That's right, to show you the moves you're doing and everything else along the way. So you guys can see here, we can actually practice now and use training dummies. Now, these assets, by the way, guys, just so you guys are aware, these assets existed back when the game first released. It actually was something that we were able to find in the actual assets before, and now we're seeing it live and available in this right here. So this is kind of a cool experience to see, and it's also pretty dope to see this happening. Okay, so we're going to accept this fight. We're going to go against Igris in co-op mode. So co-op mode is actually live co-op. This is not a Beirut type co-op that we saw the first time. This is actual real players playing the game against the boss. All right, so we're going to try a co-op out right now. We're going to see how it looks. Now, this is the unique part of it, right? You can be a specific class. Right now, I chose the assassin class. Okay, you guys can see I can use potions, which is not something we have in the game. Shadow step still does exist, but there's parries now, etc. Right, watch this. Look at this shadow step here. Right, yeah, saw that shadow step. Now look, I can, and also you can actually switch your weapons throughout the battle, and you can parry. Watch this parry. Watch. Parry, look at that parry. Parry there again, right? So you guys can see parrying is a thing. Now you can switch your weapons by pressing L2, right? I'm going to switch over to my weapon now. You'll see it in a second. Right there. I have now the Night Dagger, right? Or Knight's Killer, sorry. So and you can also switch your moves around. So how is this going to work? So I'll show you guys the crafting system, because before we used to have to summon for weapons. It looks like that no longer will be the case. Now you guys might think, hey, that's great, we don't have to worry about the gacha anymore. Nah, that's not necessarily true. They can gacha resources, they can gacha, you know, specific items that you need in order to craft these things. So don't think this is all going to be gone for gacha. I still think gacha is going to exist in a heavy way, but we're going to see the way it's going to exist is going to be a little bit different, right? So yeah, let's get this done. You guys saw I summoned my hunters there. I've got Jinho and Sung. right? I just died there, and I'm going to drink a potion real quick and get my health fully back. Right now, Blessing Stones work the exact same way. I'll show you guys the menu screen after. The difference, though, is now you can actually transform into a Monarch as well, right? Which is a pretty unique thing. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and break them here. Breaks work a little differently. Break mechanics are a little bit tougher in this because they seem to expire a lot faster. And you guys can see he gets the break bar almost instantly when that happens. And the hunters themselves are used a lot faster and they have a longer cooldown. So I'm not sure how much that changes, but I want to show you guys that real quick. Okay, so I'm going to drink another potion. There you guys go. We killed him. And you guys can see here when we do kill him, you actually get some drops. So we're going to go right to the teleportation stone, and you guys will see drops are now going to be provided. Okay, so we're going to move to the co-op lobby, and I'll just drop this. Right, we're waiting for one more person. If the guy doesn't show, then he's over there just dancing around. We never got our items, so that's probably why. But that'll probably come to us at the end of the battle, right? I'm pretty sure they'll just give us the item at the end of the battle. You'll see here we got, so look, same menu screen. Yeah, we get that item. We got to level up, and you guys can see in the bottom over there we got this item, Flawless Lesser Manedium, and that's a special mineral used for crafting purposes. Okay, so there you guys go. So that's co-op mode essentially. I think it's unique. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure it's going to be whaley because people can probably carry one another, but I want to at least give you guys a chance to see how that looked, and for you guys to kind of like understand how co-op works all together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and exit this. We'll exit. I hope I can exit here. The library? Can I exit the library? No, I can't. Okay, hold on. Let me try to get out of this, guys. I think go down. No. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. How do we get out? Craft. Oh, there's a crafting right there. Let me see if I can craft. You can do emojis as well. There's emojis right there, so that's kind of cool, actually. So here, some new crafting. Show you guys crafting. So this is the new weapon system. All right. So you start off with the weapons depending on the class you choose. And then once you choose the weapon, you can then advance the weapon further. Whether you want to go for Sandstorm Cube 2, for example, or you want to go to the Grimoire, or then the Thesis, and then A over here. You guys can see this gives you specific skills. You can see skill details are right here. Leviathan's Judgment, which essentially is exactly what we saw before. Actually, this looks way different. That looks way different. So you guys can see that's for water. And then we have this one here. And it's cool because like no longer is like the Thesis considered a triple S. You have the Grimoire now that actually kind of matches up to it as well too. So you guys can see the Orc Sword, for example, is an A. There's a lot of weapons missing in the demo, for example, no Plum Sword, none of that jazz is here. But at the end of the day, they are giving us a full-on crafting system to craft weapons, not only for hunters and but also for SJW, right? So you guys can see all of this is going to be available now for everyone to use. And as before, hunters don't have specials, but you guys can see they have specific passives that their weapons can do. And I'm assuming what's going to end up happening here, guys, is, again, this is full assumption on my end, is that we will be able to get these to A5. Now, let's go to Hunters for a second, all right? I'm going to show you guys Hunters real quick before I show you SJW. I have Emma over here. So Emma can also equip weapons just like before, right? If I want to give her this weapon, for example, right there. And you guys can see also from her passives, right? She's got up to A5. So all of her skills are here. And you guys can see it's proportional to her HP, proportional to attack, proportional to their attack, right? Slight proportional to their defense. So you guys can see right there, it's interesting because they have different wording now for different skills. So if we go further, let's just go into Emma's, right? You guys can see these are proportional to their attack, slightly increases damage proportional to their HP. So it's weird. It's like double the scaling for almost everybody. I'm not sure how that works, but you guys can see there the passives also go to A5, and it looks like she will still be working off of HP based. Right? And the same with Jinho. I think if I go to his passives, it'll be defensive based, right? You can see provoke nearby. Let's see. Defense, yeah, increases defense. So this will be defense based. So in that regard, they're all the same. So that menu looks the same. Sung Jin Woo's menu is a little bit different. You guys can see he's got his stat bars up top. So strength, vitality, agility, and that's actually given to you based on the class you chose. So I chose assassin, and they gave me that specific setup for assassin. Now a couple of cool things you can see is you can see the same bars as before, where like it shows you precision, defense, crit rate, crit damage. So all that stuff will remain the same. Nothing will change there. Your weapons you can see here in terms of that, and the artifacts stats that are provided. Now, if you go further down here, there's the Monarch's Awakening. You can see the Monarch stats. So that's kind of cool. You can see the Monarch skills as well. Now, we got a level. You guys can see it here as well, too. It is provided the same way in terms of stats. We'll put attack up, and that's right there. Now, artifacts are available for Hunters and SJW. The artifacts are different. You guys can see the artifacts here also have the enhancement to 20, but the actual sets are different. And it's interesting because all these artifacts also provide us with different sets. So this one's Provoke. This one here is Shield, so that's the same. But this one, Obsidian Bracelet, actually increases dark damage. So, and it also inflicts haunt. So it looks like the artifacts are also going to be a little different. Aquamarine does more water damage. There's a chance you can do cold ice with it. So it looks like there's opportunities to do different things with different artifacts, which might change the game. And also the substats, look at this, has like dark damage in it. This one has dark damage in it, etc. So I think that's really cool where they've added the elemental damage across the board and made it a little bit different in that regard, right? So you guys can also see the moves here if you want to check out some of the skills. They actually look pretty damn awesome, I will say. So some of these are, look at that. So some of these are pretty crazy, right? So you can see the ultimates here as well, and they look pretty damn crisp, guys. So there's that change as well. Now, another huge change to the game, of course, is the way you draw. So let me get out of this. Like, I don't know how the hell to get out of this here. Let me see if there's a way to get out of it. Exit. This is the quit the game. I want to leave co-op lobby. There it is. Okay, so we're gonna leave co-op lobby. We're gonna go into the next section of the game, and that is the story mode. Now, it's interesting because there's story mode, and then there's like the actual world map. Now, many of you guys wanted a world map concept. Well, they've given us one. So you guys can see the lobby now is a little bit more exploratory. You can kind of go around and check out things. This girl no longer does gates. She kind of just goes, F off, I'm not working anymore. And if you go down here now, you guys can see we talked about the crafting system. You guys see a lot more people around here, right? But look at the world map. Check out the world map. There's actual quests now that you can do on the world map. So you guys can see chapter 1 has a lot of different quests. And you guys have to do all these to complete chapter 1, including the story. So you can do Cerberus, the Gate, Hellkeeper, for example. That's a play solo or co-op. And then they have certain drops there. You can do Fakna here, which drops all the stuff as well, too. First General White Ant Leader, Checkmate Kaisa, right? So all of these things are going to be available to do on the world map or in the world map. And the cool thing is you can create either lobbies for co-op play, or you can do them solo yourself. So it looks like anything with SJW right there is going to be SJW. Anything with hunters, you can actually use your hunters instead. Kind of a cool concept. Same as Gates as before, but looks a little bit different. So that's available as well too. And then the main story, you guys can see here, the storyline actually does have specific voice activations. There's voice acting in it. There's actual real life story. There's cutscenes, and there's more exploration again throughout the map. So that's going to be a little bit different as well too. Currently in the demo, this is as far as you can go in the story mode. It lets you fight the werewolf, and I think after you beat the werewolf, you go on to this mode. Yeah, this is different here. Look, see, I'm going into a gate. You guys can see I can look around, right? Kind of explore a little bit more. So the world is a little more open, but still has these little areas where they kind of stop you, right? And then again, you get to choose a class of your choice. Depending on the class you choose, you will get different weapons, different skills, etc. Right? So just keep that in mind. So you guys can see this is in fact the story mode. All right. So it looks pretty cool. Looks different. Looks also very similar. Right? So I want to, again, just to show you guys this, but I like the fact that you can actually parry now. Parrying is actually really cool. I like that concept. You know, a lot of people are like gonna be like, oh, I'm not used to parrying. Well, this is something you're gonna have to use. So this is really cool as well right there. Annihilation just deletes the mob right there. And again, the fact that you don't have to use the skills to choose the weapons, I think is a cool like refreshing change of pace, that you can actually just switch the weapons whenever you want on your own. So you guys can see right here, I'm just basically beating these mobs up, doing skills, and you can equip your skills and change skills at any point. So I think what's going to happen with our current skill setup is they're going to allow us to essentially take advantage of what we have when the game goes live, and then we can equip those skills as veteran players. So that's my take on it. Is that going to actually happen? I'm not 100% sure, guys. I don't even know what to think anymore. I do still think this is going to be an overhaul update, but I could be wrong, because I think from a business perspective, it'd be stupid not to make that happen. But at the same time, maybe not everybody would like this, right? So you have to keep that in mind. Let's go back to the lobby here again. So another really big change that's going to be happening here is going to be the way you summon hunters. Yeah, I got rejected a lot in the last stream. If you missed it, go back and check it out. But what we're going to get is we're going to get these commendation tokens, right? And those are going to be essentially your brand new essence stones. You guys can see there's a lot of hunters out here, right? So this is the girl here that lets you do the draw. So what you end up doing here is you actually negotiate a contract with the hunter, just like you would in the manhwa, in the anime, right? So you spend gold, activate it, and you guys can see these guys are not very happy with me. You see the little blue faces on there. I'm going to go ahead and remove these guys out of the way, and then we're going to go and see a brand new couple. We're going to spend some more gold to do that, okay? There you guys go. So Joey's happy. This guy is elated. You're a little too happy, dude. So we're going to go ahead and hire him. We're going to try to. And this is how it works, right? You guys can see on top, I have no commendations. I have 0. So I can't even do that. So I could try to do a quick hire. I don't think it's possible because I don't have the tokens. But essentially, those commendations in the top right is what you're going to use to offer this guy a job. And he will be part of your team at that point once you do that, right? You guys can see the percentages here of hiring. And you get more bonuses if they're happier with you and a lot less if they're not. So that's how the gacha works on this. Now, in terms of everything else, managed teams looks exactly the same. You can do it for Jinwoo's loadout, or you can do it for the Hunter loadout. So yes, they're going to be Hunter-only modes as well too, right? You guys can see Emma's going to sit here next on my team, so I'm going to form this team right there. There's a couple major differences in combat I want you guys to notice. I'm going to go back to the combat screen. There is no longer any time. From at least in the demo, there is no time left. So it doesn't look like time is going to be a factor going forward, which was one of the biggest gripes for a lot of you. Now, with that being said, if they remove time, you can bet your ass that the difficulty level is going to be a lot higher. But now you can rely on skill a lot more because time is no longer a factor in the game, at least from what we've seen, guys. Okay, so let's go into this battle real quick. I'm going to see if there is a way to see if, if there is any time or not. So I'm going to skip this, and you'll see here, when I go into the battle mode here, there's no time to be seen anywhere. And if there is time, this will be the first time I see time. Right? Look at that. So no time. It's just enemies. So this can change, right? Of course, they could alter this again and put time back into it. But every fight I've done in this game so far, time has not been a factor in any way, shape, or form. So this is the cool concept here. And also, if you want to change your skills and everything, you can actually do it within the gates. There's going to be checkpoints. You'll see very shortly. I'll try to get to one. And you guys can get into those checkpoints and then change your skills, change your weapons. You got new items along the way. All that can be equipped for you as well. So a lot of cool things. And I do love the new animation for that Shadow Step. It looks really, really cool. So you guys can see here, this is a lot more intuitive combat with no time. It's going to be a lot more skill related, but also it's going to be a lot tougher. Now, another really cool thing where we used to get a mana crystals, you actually get them here by breaking those crystals in the actual gate itself. Look at that. I can now pick this up after the battle, and I'll have myself advanced mana crystals from that, or regular mana crystals, depending what my RNG is, right? So let's summon Emma here. You see Emma's popped up. And another cool thing, being an assassin, you do a lot more damage from behind. I don't know if that's the case with all the other classes. I've only been using assassin so far because I haven't had a chance to switch, but it's available for you to try out yourself and let me know what you guys think. This is going to be a big deal, guys. I want everyone to try this out on Steam if you can, and come back and let me know what your thoughts are about the changes, because I think a lot of people will like this, but I also think a lot of people might be very comfortable in their own skin. You guys can see the QTE looks the same, are very comfortable with the way the game is now, and this will be a lot more, from what I'm seeing, time consuming. That'll be a big factor, I think, for a lot of folks. The time consumption aspect of it will be huge. So keep that in mind. If you are going to be somebody who relies on, skipping and auto battles, I haven't seen auto battle yet. They haven't showed it, right? So I don't know if it's going to even exist. It might not. And I think being a gacha, they will add it to some gameplay, but it doesn't look like it exists at the current state that it's in right now, at least in the demo. Okay, so keep that in mind, guys. This is, again, just the demo, right? You guys can see, there you go. I got advanced mana crystals there. So, yeah, these are some big changes, guys. There's some really big changes. There's some things that are exactly the same, and there's some things that are completely different. And I'm not sure what to really think about it. I like the combat. I'll be honest, I actually do like the combat more in this. It feels more like a classic traditional RPG that I'm used to, with more intuitive gameplay and less linear gameplay, which I think is going to be a breath of fresh air. You guys can see I can move there now through the gate, and the second one opens up. So there you guys have it. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm curious because many of you guys were either disappointed originally or super happy with the changes. And I'm curious to know what you think after seeing this with all the different things that this game is offering. If it is something that you're going to be interested in, are you going to give it a chance? If it's a new game, guys, for some crazy reason, if this ends up being a new game, are you willing to try it? Are you willing to, especially if this is a standalone game where it's a new one? You can still keep playing SLA as is, but this is a standalone game that Steam or Xbox or the PC will offer. Is this something you guys are willing to try? Let me know in the comment section. I'm very, very interested what the community is thinking, what's going on in everybody's head, because I think this is such a massive change to the structure that we're used to, that I think we need to kind of put our heads together and think about this. They're going to go forward with it no matter what we say. That's not going to change anything. But I think it's important still. There you guys go, Shadow. I think it's still important, though, to at least band together on something like this and kind of just talk about it, figure things out a little and see what you guys think. You know, just I want to know what you guys think. That's the most important thing to me. For now, let's end this fight here. There it is. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.